particular screencast is going to cover the topic of adding transitions between paragraphs. And as you can see in the screen pictured, the transition sentence needs to link the ideas between paragraph A, pictured in pink, and paragraph B, pictured in purple. And the easiest way to do that, and I'll admit it's not terribly easy to write these sentences, is to think about the relationship between the ideas. And so I want to jump to Michaela's paper now because she has an opportunity for one of these transition sentences that I think is a fairly good representation of the challenge that comes with writing the sentence that is going to tie the ideas from one subtopic to the next subtopic. Okay, so again, Michaela has an excellent paper here, but between these two subtopics, I ask her this question: how will you transition from your previous point about maturity to this new topic? And that new topic is anxiety and depression is a major mental effect of too much social media use. And at first glance, we might think, okay, well, maturity and mental illness or depression, those may not be readily related. But if I read what Michaela has written, she comes to a conclusion here that teenagers know they're distracted when they're using social media, but they continue to use it. And then she comes up with the analysis or evaluation of that and says that this calls into question the maturity of teenagers. And then she jumps to the next subtopic sentence, which is that the effects of this overuse of social media. And so one of the things that I suggested she might do is she might consider the way that teens' lack of maturity means perhaps too much time spent on social media, which in turn has serious health implications. And this sentence would work perfectly well at the end of the previous paragraph, and it would also work at the beginning of this one. And really, the only thing that she's doing by adding that sentence is kind of smoothing the road for the reader. So all of a sudden, the reader who is considering this evaluation about teens and social media use then understands, well, you know what? It's not just a question of maturity, but there can be long-term ramifications of social media use in terms of health and welfare. And so that transition sentence kind of helps her make that point. So really, each transition sentence is completely unique. It's really a question, when you go to write them, of considering, what have I said in paragraph A? What point do I end with in particular? And then what point do I begin with in paragraph B? And how can I relate those two things? And if you find there's absolutely no way to relate them, then perhaps you should consider the order of your paragraphs. But generally, in my experience, students do pretty well with ordering their paragraphs. It's just the matter of figuring out how to phrase a good transition sentence.